Hey guys, you can run, but you can hide. I'm coming, I'm here.
Hello, and welcome back to the Combat Corner podcast. I'm Alex, and today, there's a lot to cover today. Today I'll be talking about the UFC 322 card, the prelims and the main event. I'm not going to be talking about the early prelims today, as there's a lot to cover. I'm going to be talking about a guy called Solomon Simon, who is fighting for Cage Warriors' vacant featherweight title tomorrow in London. Just a tiny little bit, I'm going to touch on One Fighting Championships, event number 173. Joseph Parker has got a suspension, a big suspension from boxing. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, and just a little bit on a local Irish event called the Crank Invitational event. I'm going to be speaking about all of these topics, so I'm just going to dive straight into UFC 322, starting with the main event and then working the way down. So now, the main event of the evening. Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Really close fight. It's so tough to say what happens. As we've got into fight week, I've been leaning more towards Islam, but it's a tough call. It's hard seeing JDM. Never mind, it's tough seeing him get finished. It's tough seeing him lose, picturing him lose. And Islam Makhachev, don't even get me started. I mean, they really kind of have been just looked unbeatable in their last few, and it's a really tough one to call. I think Islam Makhachev is one of the best fighters to ever fight. Not greatest yet, probably in the top 10. And maybe if he beats JDM and Topuria, I highly consider him top 3, top 2, top 1, maybe. He's the most decorated lightweight of all time. I don't think that's debatable. Generational finisher. If he wins, I believe that makes his win streak the longest UFC win streak in history over Anderson Silva's. And also, JDM is on an 18-fight professional win streak. He has fantastic, and I mean fantastic boxing. Good BJJ. He will not make it easy for Islam. And it's going to be a really good fight. Both of them want it. I couldn't see either of them getting a finish. It's a really close call. But trust me, when I tell you, they're going to meet in the middle. And I think it's going to be a really good fight. You never know though, because I thought DDP versus Chimaev would play out similarly. And it ended up being the worst title fight I've ever seen in my life. Maybe that, or Adesanya versus Romero was a terribly boring fight back in the day. But that was just a god-awful fight, if you'll even call it a fight. I don't think it will be like that, but there's always the chance. But I think it's just going to be fireworks. Both of them will just bring the heat, so please look out for this fight of the year contender, I'm sure. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening, Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. Both of them are absolute monsters. And something, I don't really see people talking about this, but no one, and I mean no one, is complaining about having this fight as a co-main event. Which is, although it's sad to say, but I think the MMA community realistically can be kind of sexist when it comes to having women's co-main events. People just, oh, I don't want this on the card, and way to ruin the card and all this. But no one's complaining about Shevchenko versus Weili. I mean, they're some of the most entertaining fighters you'll ever see in your life. Could be the highest level WMMA fight ever. Certainly my most anticipated. What I will say, I think because that's Shevchenko's weight class, I edge the fight towards her a little bit. She's a little bigger, a little longer. But she's unusually old for her weight class, especially considering the success that she has at the moment. Yeah, I just think she edges in size and experience, but it's an uber close fight. Can't wait for that too. Right, moving on to the feature fight of the night. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Sean Brady's a tank. I was fortunate enough to watch him perform against Leon Edwards and finished Leon Edwards. I believe that this is the only time Leon Edwards has ever been finished. A fantastic display of American wrestling. A little bit chinny. He got TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad. That's his only professional loss. So Michael Morales does have an equalizer in his boxing. Great American wrestling. So I look forward to that fight. I think Sean Brady takes that fight, and he is a close favourite. Okay, moving on to the next fight of the night. Leon Rocky Edwards versus Carlos Prates. The last two times Leon Edwards fought, me and my dad were in the building, and he lost both fights. So myself and my dad will not be present in Madison Square Garden. So maybe we're just bad luck for Leon Edwards and he takes the win. All seriousness though, Carlos Prates is a giant. He's very powerful. Leon Edwards is a very technical striker. He's good grappling, really underrated grappling, I think. And I think on paper, Leon should win. I think it would play out similarly on paper to when Ian Gary fought Carlos Prates. And Leon Edwards now is getting a striker matchup, whereas the last two were heavy wrestlers. So I think he should win on paper, but his last two performances were just so flat. Just nothing short of disastrous. So I think Prates may retire Leon. Not too sure, but I'm interested to see how the fight plays out. I can't really picture in my head Carlos Prates just knocking Leon Edwards out, but I can picture Leon getting overwhelmed and just not putting enough output out there, especially considering he's so used to the 5-rounders now, and this is the 3-rounder. And then losing a close decision, but I think on paper Leon should win. Interested to see how it goes. So don't know if it'll be fireworks exactly, but I'm interested to see it. Now moving on to what would open the main card. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Beneil Dariush. Benoit Saint-Denis is coming off a great win over Mauricio Hufi. Beneil is older, he's smaller, and I don't think he's active enough, but he beat Renato Moicano not so long ago. I just think based on last performances, Benoit Saint-Denis just edges out a win. Maybe by finish. I'm not too sure. If I'm looking at a finish on the main card, it's probably him. He probably gets the finish over Beneil Dariush. Maybe Sean Brady gets the finish. Not too sure. This is a card with some amazing matchmaking. I mean, really. Just looking up and down this card, just wow. I can't wait for this. And it's unfortunate. I'm in the middle of some exams right now. But the exams will have to suffice for this card because it's too good. Now, on to the prelims. So opening up the prelims is Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cody Haddon. Wellmaker is certainly an exciting prospect. He's an He has an equalizer in his right hand with a viral KO. When he fainted, it was like he fainted a body kick and just bam with a right hook, and got a viral KO. He has that undefeated aura to him. He's 10 wins, no losses professionally, and he's a personality. A lot of people like McGregor can relate to him. he was working in trades, and he picked up MMA not so long ago to just keep up his fitness. And yeah, a lot of people can relate to him in that way. So he seems to be a bit of a personality. I think he's bound to win. Cody Haddon, I was looking back at his fights. I vaguely remember his last one, but he's only had one UFC fight. It's a lower caliber to what Wellmaker's fought. I think Wellmaker finds the shot and gets the KO. Now moving on to Tracy Cortez versus Erin Blanchfield. Tracy Cortez is also a personality in the sport, one of the biggest women's MMA stars. It's a close fight, I think. I think I'll edge out Erin Blanchfield for the win by decision. It's a close fight. I would not be surprised if Tracy Cortez wins. Once again, good matchmaking. I think this is a close fight, once again. So, look forward to seeing it. Now, next on the prelims is Gregory Robocop Rodriguez versus Roman Kopylov. Now, I think Gregory Rodriguez is slept on. I've really liked watching him for the last kind of year and a half, 2 years. Unfortunately, he had the fight night main event with Jared Cannonier over 5. He gassed out in that fight over the 5 rounds. I don't really know, was that a cardio issue or was he just feeling the shots? It was a bit of an unusual one, like Rainier de Ritter's last fight. He's powerful body kicks. He has the equalizer again. He got a crazy knockout. He was like the Terminator in his last fight. I think he hit him with a left hook, dropped him to the ground, just walked him down to the cage and just bang with what we call a super necessary shot to finish the fight. Kopylov recently lost to Paulo Costa and had that weird kind of stoppage against Chris Curtis. I think Robocop Rodriguez finds the KO. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that fight. Now, moving on to the next fight to close out the prelims, which was originally on the main card, but something happened. So, Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. Bo Nickel's last performance, what do you guys think about it? I thought it was disastrous. But he does have a better record. I think he takes a decision over Rodolfo Vieira. I don't really see much of a championship future for Bo Nickel, as people were kind of hyping him up at the start. I just think if you look at Hamza, I mean, can you blame me? He's just a monster. Just freak athleticism, just crazy wrestler. And middleweight's pretty stacked in the minute. I think even if he fought, like, say, an older version of Adesanya, he'd probably get knocked out. But I'm going to give this card a 10 out of 10. This is a really good card. Potentially the biggest fight of the year is Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. If not that, Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. So that's really all I have to say about UFC 322. Please do yourself a favour and tune into the card. Looks brilliant. Can't wait for it. Moving on to the next topic I want to speak about, which is Cage Warriors 196, I believe. It's in London and it's headlined by a guy called Solomon Simon. Now, I actually bumped into this guy at the last Cage Warriors Dublin event. He's Irish and I saw him fight at the Cage Warriors Dublin before that. So shout out to him. He's going to be fighting for the vacant featherweight title. I hope he gets the job done and I hope he sees a future in the UFC because you know, he seemed like a pretty nice guy when I bumped into him, pretty chill guy, so hats off. Moving on to 1FC 173. So this card is headlined by Superbon versus Noiri. It's the featherweight kickboxing world championship, and they're unifying the belts. It's just all of these 1FC guys are just monsters. I mean, really. Superbon, I've seen some of his fights before, and he's just a killer. Straight killer. If you're looking for some crazy action, please tune into this card. Then Rod Tang will be fighting on the card too. Who else? We have a couple of big names. Super Lek will be fighting on the card. So Superbon, Super Lek, Rod Tang. What's not to like? Tune in Sunday. I think it's 5 o'clock UK time. It should be cool. So yeah. Now, moving on to a controversial topic. Joseph Parker is being suspended from boxing due to a cocaine scandal. He tested positive after the fight with Fabio Wardley. He failed a drug test, and his suspension is lasting years, as headlines are saying. So realistically, that's the end of Joseph Parker. And I'm sad to see it, because I really do think Joseph Parker deserved the Usyk fight before a couple of people got there. I think he deserved it over Daniel Dubois the second time, potentially even Fury the second time. You know, and I really do like Joseph Parker as a personality of the sport. I think he'd be good for the sport if he was a champ. So, just sad to see, but nobody forced him to take cocaine. It was his own decision. So, you know, he had it coming, but I'm just kind of upset to hear the news. Moving on to another massive event this weekend. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. 2. The second fight, the rematch. I think it plays out the same as the first one. I think they stand in the middle of the ring, swing at each other with ill intent till the final bell, and we see another great fight, another classic in British boxing, because that's what the last fight was. It was a stellar fight, really good. There's not, maybe I can see a knockout happening by either guys, because I don't know how on earth both of them stayed standing on their legs come the final bell in the last fight, because they were hitting like hammers and they were landing. So yeah, I think it plays out the same. I think Chris Eubank Jr. edges out decision, but it's going to be a good fight. Do yourself a favour, tune in, bring your mates over, have a few drinks, because it's going to be good. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is a local event that's happening in my hometown of Blessington, and it's called Crank Invitational, and it's going to be a BJJ event that's taking place in St. Kevin's Hall, Blessington. It will be streamed. I don't know where it will be streamed. I'll keep you guys updated, but it's a really good card that's been assembled. There's names like Amy Scully and a few others that are on the card. It's shaping up to be really good. So there's some of the best grappling prospects around the country are participating. I'll be doing some kind of media work around the event, some kind of media commentary work. So please do tune in, because it's shaping up to be a really good card. And it'll last long, like almost like a professional MMA card. So please do tune in if you get the chance. It's going to be great. So that's really all I have to talk about this weekend. Stacked weekend, to say the least, and completely unrelated to combat sport, but Ireland have just beat Portugal 2-0. So I'm delighted, and the nation's delighted. So fair play to the lads. We'll probably qualify for the World Cup now, so hooray. That's it from me. I'll see you.